There's so many experiences that we have about this entity. I can't begin to even start, but the history of the Pavilion and the way the models are changing from the closed door model. Look, 5 years ago, I didn't know what it meant by primary. I didn't know what EC was. I would hear that and I was going like, I don't know. So I believe that transition of recovery, that has to be, but I don't ever want in my life, in my experience, to discount the spiritual part of the program.
When Gilles and Liliane were devising the very first pavilion in Val David, Canada, I think they hit it right on the head. To really make this recovery stick, we've got to go beyond the medicators and figure out, why are you hiding?
But the history of the Pavilion and how this has progressed is very intriguing. We had no clue about Pavilion. Laura didn't, neither one of us. Her transaction was a business transaction.
They came in the office and said they were looking for a big tract of land. Well, in Saluda, I didn't have any big tracts of land. So I called some friends that were realtors down here, and we met the realtor down here, and Liliane just fell in love. She said, my intuition is saying that this is it. Gilles asked me what the property was used for, and I'm not as familiar with property down here as I am property in Saluda, so I defaulted to the realtor, who was born and raised in Cooper's Gap. She said, old stories go that there was old whiskey still on the property, and he looked at Liliane and started laughing, and he said, that's got to be a sign. And I went, so what are y'all doing again?
I saw the drawing on the architect's desk well before I came. I didn't know anything about treatment. I didn't have any hope. I already had my suicide plan. I knew I was going to die. It was given. My body was saturated. My mind was certainly very clouded and confused, and I was scared to death. When I came here, Reed, the sign down there where you turn to come up said, Spiritual Renewal Center. And when I came in and I heard people say, we don't care what your religion is. We care what you want to do about your problem and how we can help. And I got something. I got emotional. I got around a group of people that understood, that had the same disease. Liliane and Gilles, of course, and Patty was there. There was Gary and Al, and these people, these are the foundation of my recovery. I found hope. And my hope today would be that patients that are here, what we call clients in those days, would latch on to people in not only their group, but particularly the Pavilion staff, their counselors, their mentors, their people that gave them maybe a chance to open their eyes to something they didn't see. I'm eternally grateful. Not for the Pavilion saving my life, but for giving me the tools that I can use, if I choose to stay clean and sober.
And it is a phenomenon to see that what worked 30 or 35 years ago still has so much power.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
This is really important for us to come and do this, to be honest with you, because it reminds me of those who came before me. You know, recovery often is kind of like a track event where they pass the baton in a relay race. To keep what you have to pass it on. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. What that means to me is I'm lucky to be alive. And that I was guided to a place through maybe some architect's drawing or maybe some wife that's sold her real estate. I don't know how this all works. All I know is that I'm sitting here today, that I come down here and I'm like, wow, this is a sacred place.